What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another episode. Now, in this episode, we'll be doing a live backtesting Forex, right? And the indicator that we're going to be backtesting is going to be the ICHIMOKU, right? So the ICHIMOKU is is a really popular indicator that a lot of traders use, right? I know exactly why they use the ICHIMOKU. It's a fantastic indicator. It's got its benefits, it's got its pros and it's got its cons, right? Now, I don't normally use the ICHIMOKU, but I have used it in the past, and I'm going to show you how I used the ICHIMOKU when I used it, and it was quite effective how I used it, but I don't use it anymore. So we're just going to get straight into it. So first things first, we're just going to bring up my indicators and we're going to look for the ICHIMOKU. So there's the ICHIMOKU right here, right? Now, it looks like a complete mess, absolute mess, right? Now, how some people trade the ICHIMOKU, I kind of do it a little bit different as how I trade the ICHIMOKU. So how some people trade the ICHIMOKU is relatively straightforward. They follow the clouds, right? So let me just bring up the ICHIMOKU setup, and the cloud color, we're just gonna make it a bit bolder so it pops. So that's green. I'm just gonna make that red, right? So the colors pop, right? And how they trade the ICHIMOKU is relatively straightforward. When the candles are above the clouds, they're putting in buy orders, right? And when the candle is below the clouds, they're putting in sell orders, right? Fairly straightforward. And as you can see on this chart, how it looks, you can see yourself following it along, all right? Now, how I like to do it is I don't do it with the clouds at all. So first things first, we're going to bring up the ICHIMOKU, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to use the conversion line and the baseline. That's what we're going to be making our decisions off those and those alone, right? So the lagging span we don't want, we get rid of that. The lagging span A, we get rid of that also. We're getting rid of not lagging. The leading span A, we just got rid of. So sorry there. Leading span B, we're getting rid of that also, and the plots we're getting rid of. So we just got rid of all of that, right? Now the only thing that we have is the conversion line and the baseline. That's it. That's all we need, and that is all that we're going to use, right? And it's really simple. What we're looking for in regards to the conversion line and the baseline is we're looking for crosses. As soon as they cross over, we enter a trade in the direction that it crosses, in the direction that it's crossed. So for example, if it crosses under the candles, we look for buys. If it crosses and the candles are below, we look for sells, right? If the crossing is confusing, we do nothing. Simple, right? So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to close my eyes. So believe you me, I've actually closed my eyes, right? Close my eyes. And so now I've opened my eyes again. And we're going to bring on this thingamajig. So wait, let me X that off. We're just going to take it back a bit. Just say about here. That's really decent enough. And we're going to just hit that. Wait, and we're going to cut from here. So it's all cut. Now we're going to bring the charts back, and what we're going to do is we're just going to be looking for situations where we can trade. Now, because we've missed this cross over here, we're not going to do a trade. So we're only going to be doing the trades once we get the crosses, right? So let's play. So it's getting close. Okay, so now that it's crossed, we're going to jump in and we're going to put in a sell order, right? Now, the thing with this back testing that I'm going to be doing with you guys is literally we're going to be trading it, not really following the trend. We're going to be following it based on what the ICHIMOKU tells us, right? So that's all we're going to be doing. We could do it following the trend, and that is something that I leave to you to do in your own research. But we're just going to do it to see if it will help us make good decisions in the market or not. That's all, right? So what kind of ratio are we looking for? What kind of ratio are we looking for? Let's just say 1 to 2, right? 1 to 2 ratio. So let's hit that. Let's see if it gives it to us. As soon as it crosses, we're out. If it crosses again, so now we're out. So we just took a loss on that. We just took a loss. And what we're going to do is we're going to say we saw this cross happen, right? Actually, let me make it a little bit bolder, so when it crosses, it's really clear for you guys to see. I'm going to set this to 2. And then we're going to set this one here to 2. Okay, so when it crosses, it really pops. So we can see the cross there. We're going to say we just saw the cross, and we're taking the next wick after it, which would be this one over here. So we're going to put in our buy position on this next one. So we're already in profit right now. We're going to cover this area, so we've covered that. And we're going to do, we're just going to keep a nice simple 1 to 5 ratio. Just, yeah, 1 to 5. 1 to 5 is all right. So we just keep it like that. And we're going to hit play. And if it crosses again, we're out. So now it's crossed. We've taken 2 L's so far. Right? 2 L's we've lost. And now we're going to put in a sell. So it's crossed here. We're taking this wick. We're going to cover this area over here. We're going to do another 1 to 5 ratio. 1 to 5. We're going to hit play. Okay, and this crossed again. So this thing is not proving very reliable so far. We've lost 3 trades so far, but we're just going to keep it going. So it says a buy, so it's crossed in this area right here. So we're going to take the second one. So we're in a little bit of profit. We're going to cover this zone at the bottom. And we're going to do 1 to 5 ratio. And as you can see, although we have been stopped out a few times, right? Yep, so this one was a straight TP hit, so we lost a lot of pips in this one over here. A lot of the times we're jumping out a lot earlier before he hits TP. So now let's go, let's see what he does. Okay. So far so good. So far so good. So far so good. Behave yourself. Okay, oops, where am I? Let's expand this. Almost got TP hit there. And has it crossed? Let's zoom in. Has it crossed? No, it hasn't. It's just come very close together, but it hasn't actually crossed. So we're just going to zoom back out. Going to expand this. And we're going to let it continue to run. Okay, so now it's crossed. So it's crossed. Where did it cross? It crossed up here. So we took the second one. So we say we got it up to about here somewhere. This is where we actually cross, right? So we haven't done too bad, and we've had to hold this one for quite some time, right? So it's crossed again, and it's crossed here. So we've taken this trade over here. We're gonna put in a sell right here. We're gonna drag this down. And this is a 1 to 5 ratio on the sell. So now we're going to see what it does. If it's going to sting us or if it's going to bless us. Okay, so it's crossed, so we're out. Okay, so we're out, and let's have a look. Okay, so we're going to put in a buy. So we crossed over here. We're going to take this one over here. We're going to go again, 1-to-5 ratio. So we've taken a little bit of profit over here, but it hasn't covered our losses here, 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 and here. So we're still negative in the account. We're still negative. It's not looking good at all. So now we're going to let it do its thing. Continues to push up, or is it going to cross and screw up the party? Okay, so it did. It crossed. And it crossed about here. So we got out with a little bit of profit, a tiny amount of profit, right? Tiny amount. Tiny, tiny, tiny. So it's crossed. We're taking this next one over here. We're going to bring our stop up here. And we're going to do another 1-to-5 ratio. Okay, let's see if it's going to go in our way or not. And it's crossed, so we're out. We're out of this trade. We're losing so far. We are getting battered in this market. There is no sympathy out here. Zero. So now we're going to put in a buy. We are going to cover the bottoms because we have to. That's the best place to put our stops. And we're going to do a 1-to-5 ratio again. And I think the next video I'm going to do, we're just going to do it based off the clouds, right? And you're going to see that ultimately you would then form the opinion that although the indicators are good, right, it's always a good idea to kind of, like, the human being is always going to be better than the indicator, in my opinion. In my opinion, hands down. If the human being has the eye to see what he needs to see, it's always going to be better than the machine, even though the machines are smarter. So let's just let this go. And it's together now. It's crossed and it's still pushing up, which is great. So let's see if it's gonna do something stupid. So it's together. It hasn't crossed. And now it's crossed. So it crossed over here. So we're gonna bring this back, right? And then let's look at the size of these wins against our losses. And we are still relatively negative. We're still negative, but we've managed to claw back some of our losses. Right? We managed to claw it back. So let us continue. So right now, it's saying it's sell. So we're going to take this candle over here on a sell. And we're going to see what it gives us. So we're going to do the same thing again, 1-to-5 ratio. It's 1-to-6. So we're doing 1-to-5. Let's go. And it's crossed. So now we're out of that trade. Then we jump back in again with a buy. And one thing I always say, if you're going to put your faith in indicators, you're going to need to test them to see how good they really are. There is no point watching somebody doing a video singing the praises as to how great the indicator is, and then you go to use it for yourself, and then you find out the complete opposite, right? So right now, our account will be negative, right? We've made some gains, but we're negative right now. And the next technical, the next backtest I'm going to do, it would be using just the clouds alone, right? And just to see how we pan out with that. Okay. And let me pause there for a second, right? And also as well, you would notice, right, with these indicators, right? So with these indicators, if you get them in the direction of the trend. So right now, for the sake of this backtesting, we're not doing it in the direction of the trend. We're doing it when signals appear. That is when we put in trades and so on and so forth. This is exactly how we're doing it for the sake of this video. Now, what I hope you're gaining from this video itself is that these indicators can really help you if you identify the trend and you use the indicators to ride the trend. So as you can see, market is pushing up, right? If we use the ICHIMOKU crosses just to put in buy orders, right, as market is rising, we would have been doing a lot more than what we're doing now, because every single red that we've experienced right now is based on us going against the trend, right? That's why these reds are there. It's because I am going against the trend on this, right? But the point of this video is not to show you the most awesomest way as to how to use the ICHIMOKU, because I need you to come to that conclusion yourself. I'm not going to do the work for you, because then you don't know what to do. You don't know how to compensate for bad decisions, right? I'm just going to show you how good the indicator is, and then you're going to figure out how you're going to use the indicator. That's what I'm doing with you right now, right? I'm not going to sell you no lies. I'm not going to tell you something is great when I know it's 50-50. It just makes no sense. So let's go. So okay, so far so good. I wonder if we're going to get a TP hit this time. It'd be good if we got a TP hit, because we haven't even had a TP hit so far. Oh bloody hell. Okay, so it crossed and then it will continue to go up. So it's in an area of ambiguity right now, but we're just letting it run. It's together. Let's have a look, let's have a look, let's have a look. Has it crossed yet? So it crossed over here. So technically, I should have jumped out of this trade some time ago, right? But let's just say you saw it ranging and you're like, I still believe it's going to go my way. So we're taking that attitude that we still believe it's going to go our way. And what we're going to do is we're just going to keep riding it out and see what it does. See what it does, see if it closes out. So now it's crossed and we're about to get a stop loss. Boom. So that's our first stop loss that's been hit, right? We could have got out here, but we didn't. We stayed with it, so that's what's happened. We've lost going with the trend. Okay. So now it's recommending that we sell, and it recommended it up here. So we've missed that because we were saying market's going to continue to push up, so we've missed that. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for the second signal to appear. We're not going to do anything right now. We're going to wait to see what it does. Okay, so is that a cross? No, that's not a cross. Let's continue. So we just come together. As soon as it crosses, we're in there. Okay, so it's come together now. It hasn't crossed. Okay, so now it has. We're gonna say we took this move over here. And then as I produce more of these videos, I'm then going to be showing you other like effective strategies that how you can actually combine this with other strategies to make it more effective. Ultimately, you will get to the point where you won't even be using these indicators, to be fair. I'll be honest with you, you're not going to be using them. But some of you guys are new watching this for the first time, so I'll take you through the journey of what you're probably going through right now, depending on what videos you're watching. And also, if you find the content useful, hit the subscribe button. Do you know what I mean? Hitting the subscribe button is not going to cost you anything at all, right? And will help the channel. So we've had a cross here. Price is down here, so we've taken another L. So as you can see, our account is doing very bad indeed. Very, very, very bad. Now this is the part where we start to worry, because the account is now doing terrible, absolutely terrible, right? So let's go. And if you've had the time to watch the super trend video, you can see that super trend indicator, it was a lot more promising. It was a lot more promising in terms of the gift that he gave, supposing to the ICHIMOKU. Now the ICHIMOKU you can find with your broker. I don't know if you can find super trend with your broker. Hence why, if you're not using TradingView, there is a link in the description. It will take you straight to TradingView. You can use the free version or you can use the paid version. As for me, I use the paid version. It's more value for money, and I consider it a utility. I'm winning with it, so I'm gonna pay for it. For as long as I'm a trader, I'll always pay for TradingView. It's part of being a trader. So that link will be in the description. All right, so let's just see how this. Okay, so it hasn't even triggered. Let's Okay, so let's go. Okay, come on, give us a TP hit. Just one time TP hit on profit. Come on, man. Come on. Oh, bloody hell, it's gonna mess it up. It's going to mess it up. I can see about okay. So it's crossed right here. So let's zoom in. So it's crossed right here. So this is where we're gonna need to take an educated guess as to what we're gonna do. This is the cross right now in this area. So we can, right? We can say it's crossed and we're gonna jump out, right? But if you see where this parabolic candle is pushing down towards, how it's moving, right? I'm confident to say that we should stay with the sell based on what I'm looking at right now. I could be right, I could be wrong, but we find out one way or the other. We're going to find out if this is a good decision or not. So let's just hit play, see what he gives us. Okay, we're getting close to TP. Come on, now hit it. No. Come on, just give us a TP hit. Okay, is it going to do it? Right, so this is where we get out. This move over here says let's run off with our money. Let's go. So let's go and look to see how good or how bad we're doing, right? So we've won 1, 2, 3 trades. We have not had a single moment where we've had a TP hit, right? And we've lost a couple trades, and we've lost 2 really big ones. This one over here and this one over here, right? We've lost 2 really big ones. So our account is doing bad right now. It's not doing good at all. It's doing very, very, very bad. Right, so we're going to put in a long position because we've seen the signal. We're going to take that. We're going to cover this zone here with our stop. And we're going to do 1-to-5 ratio. So let's see if it gives it to us. Okay. Let's see if it gives it to us. Alright, it looks like it's about to get across. So now we've got the cross, and we're literally, actually, let me play it one more time. Okay, so we've got the cross, and we're at break even. So this is it, well, negative actually, right? And that is the current market price. So we've done it up to today, basically. And what we can see here is my assessment of the ICHIMOKU, based on just using the baseline and the conversion line, okay, is you can be profitable with it, okay, but you have to go with the trend. The only time it went against us when we were going with the trend was in this area over here and this area over here, but even with that, we had the opportunity to get out. That was over here, but we did not get out. Sorry, we stayed with it, hence why it took us down to stop loss, right? And the same thing over here, this was a bad indicator and it took us down. Now what we should have done was so this area over here, losing at this level over here, is an easy mistake for any trader to make. Why? Because we don't know if this is a new lower high or not, okay? However, we did have the indications at these bottoms over here, which was the lower lows. This lower high now confirms that we should only be looking for sales. Okay, only be looking for sales. So with the ICHIMOKU, if you're using it to trade the trend, it can be a powerful tool. If you're just going to take the signals as it gives out the signals, then you could end up taking a few L's. So yeah, so viewers discretion. Okay, so you have to use this tool with caution, right? So I'm gonna leave this video here as it is, right? And I'm gonna do another one very soon where we're just gonna be focusing on the ICHIMOKU clouds, and we're gonna see how well we do with that. And yeah, and that's basically it. So guys, I hope you found this content useful. If you haven't done so already and found the content useful, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notification, right? Help the channel grow, help me grow, motivate me, right? Obviously, if you like what it is that I'm doing, and all of that will be appreciated. So with that said, guys, I want to thank you for coming over to watch another episode of Pips on Points. I truly appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which will be very, very soon. So until